A river is a natural flowing watercourse, usually a freshwater stream, flowing on the Earth's land surface or inside caves towards another water body at a lower elevation, such as an ocean, sea, bay, lake, wetland, or another river. In some cases, a river flows into the ground or becomes dry at the end of its course without reaching another body of water. Rivers are an important part of the water cycle. Water from a drainage basin generally collects into a river through surface runoff from precipitation, meltwater released from natural ice and snowpacks, and other underground sources such as groundwater recharge and springs. Rivers are often considered major features within a landscape. However, they actually only cover around 0.1% of the land on Earth. Rivers are also an important natural terraformer, as the erosive action of running water carves out rills, gullies, and valleys in the surface, as well as transferring silt and dissolved minerals downstream, forming river deltas and islands where the flow slows down. As a water body, rivers also serve crucial ecological functions by providing and feeding freshwater habitats for aquatic and semi-aquatic fauna and flora, especially for migratory fish species, as well as enabling terrestrial ecosystems to thrive in the riparian zones. Rivers are significant to humankind since many human settlements and civilizations are built around sizable rivers and streams. Most of the major cities of the world are situated on the banks of rivers, as they are, or were, depended upon as a vital source of drinking water, for food supply via fishing and agricultural irrigation, for shipping, as natural borders and/or defensive terrains, as a source of hydropower to drive machinery or generate electricity, for bathing, and as a means of disposing of waste. In the pre-industrial era, larger rivers were a major obstacle to the movement of people, goods, and armies across regions. Towns often developed at the few locations suitable for fording, building bridges, or supporting ports. Many major cities, such as London, are located at the narrowest and most reliable sites at which a river could be crossed via bridges or ferries. In earth science disciplines, potamology is the scientific study of rivers, while limnology is the study of inland waters in general. Rivers can flow down mountains and hills through valleys and can create canyons or gorges, especially when traversing plains. The river channel typically contains a single stream, but some rivers flow as several interconnecting streams, producing a braided river which occur on peneplains and some of the larger river deltas. A river flowing in its channel is a source of energy that acts on the river channel to change its shape and form. In 1757, German hydrologist Albert Brahms empirically observed that the submerged weight of objects that may be carried away by a river is proportional to the sixth power of the river flow speed. This formulation is also sometimes called Ayres' law. Thus, if the speed of flow is doubled, the flow would dislodge objects with 64 times as much submerged weight. In mountainous torrential zones, this can be seen as erosion channels through hard rocks and the creation of sands and gravels from the destruction of larger rocks. A river valley that was created from a U-shaped glaciated valley can often easily be identified by the V-shaped channel that it has carved. Throughout the course of the river, the total volume of water transported downstream will often be a combination of the free water flow together with a substantial volume flowing through subsurface rocks and gravels that underlie the river and its floodplain, called the hyperhike zone. For many rivers in large valleys, this unseen component of flow may greatly exceed the visible flow. Rivers have been classified by many criteria, including their topography, their biotic status, and their relevance to whitewater rafting or canoeing activities. Rivers flow downhill with their power derived from gravity. A common misconception holds that all or most rivers flow from north to south, but this is not so. Rivers flow in all directions of the compass and often have complex meandering paths. In its youthful stage, a river causes erosion in the watercourse, deepening the valley. Hydraulic action loosens and dislodges aggregate, which further erodes the banks and the river bed. Over time, this deepens the river bed and creates steeper sides, which are then weathered. Waterfalls also form in the youthful river valley, where a band of hard rock overlays a layer of soft rock. Differential erosion occurs as the river erodes the soft rock more readily than the hard rock. This leaves the hard rock more elevated and stands out from the river below. The organisms in the riparian zone respond to changes in river channel location and patterns of flow. The ecosystem of rivers is generally described by the river continuum concept. which has some additions and refinements to allow for dams and waterfalls and temporary extensive flooding. The concept describes the river as a system in which the physical parameters, the availability of food particles, and the composition of the ecosystem are continuously changing along its length. The food, energy, that remains from the upstream part is used downstream. The chemistry of rivers is complex and depends on inputs from the atmosphere, the geology through which it travels, and the inputs from man's activities. The chemical composition of the water has a large impact on the ecology of that water for both plants and animals, and it also affects the uses that may be made of the river water. Understanding and characterizing river water chemistry requires a well-designed and managed sampling and analysis. Rivers have been a source of food since prehistory. 20. They are often a rich source of fish and other edible aquatic life and are a major source of fresh water, which can be used for drinking and irrigation. Rivers help to determine the urban form of cities and neighborhoods, and their corridors often present opportunities for urban renewal through the development of foreshoreways such as river walks. Rivers also provide an easy means of disposing of wastewater and, in much of the less developed world, other wastes. Rivers have been used for navigation for thousands of years. The earliest evidence of navigation is found in the Indus Valley Civilization, which existed in northwestern India around 3300 BC. Riverine navigation provides a cheap means of transport and is still used extensively on most major rivers of the world like the Amazon, the Ganges, the Nile, the Mississippi, and the Indus. Sacred rivers are examples of sacred natural sites, and their reverence is a phenomenon found in several religions, especially religions in which nature is revered. For example, the Indian origin religions of Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and Sikhism revere and preserve groves, forests, trees, mountains, and rivers as sacred. Among the most sacred rivers in Hinduism are the Ganges, Yamuna, and Sarasvati rivers. Other sacred rivers for Indian religions include the Rigvedic rivers, the Narmada, the Godavari, and the Kaveri rivers. The Vedas and Gita, the most sacred of Hindu texts, were written on the banks of the Sarasvati River. Plastic pollution imposes threats on aquatic life and river ecosystems because of plastic's durability in the natural environment. Plastic debris may result in entanglement and ingestion by aquatic life such as turtles, birds, and fish, causing severe injury and death. Human livelihoods around rivers are also impacted by plastic pollution through direct damage to shipping and transport vessels, effects on tourism or real estate value, and the clogging of drains and other hydraulic infrastructure leading to increased flood risk. Rivers are often managed or controlled to make them more useful or less disruptive to human activity. Dams or weirs may be built to control the flow, store water, or extract energy. Levees, known as dikes in Europe, may be built to prevent river water from flowing on floodplains or floodways. Canals connect rivers to one another for water transfer or navigation. River courses may be modified to improve navigation or straightened to increase the flow rate. Rivers are increasingly managed for habitat conservation, as they are critical for many aquatic and riparian plants, resident and migratory fishes, waterfowl, birds of prey, migrating birds, and many mammals. Human-made causes, such as the overexploitation and pollution, are the biggest threats and concerns which are making rivers ecologically dead and drying up the rivers.